All right, Class 5A. 5A, not a whole lot different this week. Um, there's a lot of very interesting teams near the bottom of the top 10. Um, but, uh, 1 through 7 stayed the same this week. And that's kind of been the case with 5A all year. Um, they've, they've been Uh, first of all, they've been pretty top heavy. You see the top of the rankings every week, and it kind of seems like the teams that are at the top, um, they really, they just really seem like uh, the when you look at Parkview, Robinson, Hot Springs, Lakeside, Valley View, Camden, Fairview, Morrilton, and Searcy. uh, I would cut it off maybe with how well Camden Fairview competed against Hot Springs Lakeside. I might cut it off at Camden Fairview, and Morrilton's been impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're in that same class. Now they could easily prove that they belong in that same class of contender, but right now I would cut it off at the top five. Cersei's been really impressive as well. We'll go ahead and get to the rankings here in a second. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to us right here on YouTube for the Arkansas Sports Network. We are posting new content all the time, trying to reach the immaculate 100,000 follower/subscriber mark. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. And subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Um, if you want to be notified whenever Arkansas Sports Network posts a new video, and hit the like button if you're enjoying this content. Share the video if you think there's somebody else that would enjoy it, and comment if there's something that you think needs to be known about your team if you're a Class 5A football fan. Without further ado, we'll get into the 5A top 10 here. Number one, Parkview. I don't think there needs to be a whole lot of explanation here. They're the most athletic team, maybe in the state. Coach Bolding has done a tremendous job with that program, and they're the favorite to win the state title right now. Number two, Robinson. Same situation. One of the most athletic teams in the state. They got a few transfers in the offseason that really boosted them from maybe in the middle of the pack in the top 10. They'd still be a top 10 team, but maybe middle of the pack, top 10 to instant contender. And so they are at number two at the moment. Their only loss is to Pulaski Academy out of Class 7A. Number three, Hot Springs Lakeside. They are led by Wally Walcott, Grady Oman in the backfield, and they look like a really dangerous team. I think that a lot of very I think there's a lot of very exciting buzz around Hot Springs Lakeside right now. Um, I think that they've proven over the course of the season that they are not a one-dimensional offense. I think that's what makes them really scary. Um, Omen is such a dominant back, and then Walcott, in that game against Camden Fairview, played so well. So I think that they um, I'd really like to see them play a team for some of the teams we're about to talk about. And they played Camden Fairview. They've played some of the top teams in the class. Um, but I really think that they could benefit. And we'll talk about them and their schedule and their game this week a little bit later in the video. But I think that they could benefit from playing some of the top upper echelon teams in the class. I think there are some people that still don't believe in them. So I think that they're going to be there deep in the playoffs at the end of this season for sure. Number four, Valley View. It's hard to say a team is underrated at number four, but Valley View has been very impressive. Coach Cockrell always has them competitive year in and year out, and that's a program with a lot of very talented players every year. And they have the coach that's been able to put it together and win a lot of ball games there. I think they are. Um, I think that they might be one of the contenders to knock off Parkview for the title. Um, I thought maybe they were losing a little bit too much talent from last season, but obviously I was, and that's what I thought in the offseason. Obviously, I was wrong. They have come out just, one of the hottest teams in the state, and they look really good so far this season. Um, Quarterback, I believe his name is Drew Gartman. He's a great athlete. I would suggest that you check out some of his tape. He'll really impress you if you haven't seen it already. Number 5, Camden Fairview. Camden Fairview is a team, a lot of history there, and Coach Vaughn is always preparing his team really well. Of course, that loss to Hot Springs Lakeside has really put a dent in where they are. Um, but I don't think that's going to deter them from having any further success in the season, and they will make a deep playoff run as well. Number 6, Morrilton. Morrilton is a team that has been a bit of a surprise after they were pretty up and down last season. And Coach McNabb has really stabilized that program this year, and they have been one of the surprise teams of the season. The Devil Dogs are at our number 6 spot this week. Number 7, Searcy is a team that continues to impress. They just got a lot of very talented athletes, and they're the best team in town for sure. With Harding Academy moving up to 5A, we've been able to see how they fare against some of the competition that Cersei's been having to go with, for the past few years. And Cersei, really dominant force in Class 5A this season. Number 8, Farmington. Coach Tommy Tice's crew um, had a big game against Valonia last week. I don't think that I think that their win over Valonia makes them look better, but I don't think that Valonia's loss makes them look worse, if that makes sense. Um, I think that was a big time chess match last week between Coach Tice and Coach Ashcraft. Those are the two of the best coaches in the state. Um, I say, in my opinion, I think it's hard to argue that they've both been successful wherever they've been, and so they just both really stand out as coaches, and they're really, really impressive. Both of their groups played really hard last week, and Farmington ended up coming out of there with an impressive victory, so they move up to number 8. Number 9, Maumelle. This is a team that has been a little bit up and down as well, but they have been in our top 10 more times than not this season. Maumelle stays in our top 10 at number 9 this week. Number 10, Valonia. Valonia is a team that really they stuck out to me in the offseason because of their coaching hire that really impressed me. Coach Ashcraft um, really is a fantastic coach for anybody, and I think that he's got the resources and the support at Valonia to turn them into a contender. Watch out for Valonia, not just now, but over the next few years. All right, 16 games in Class 5A this week. We're going to give you picks and insight on all of them. Start with Parkview versus Magnolia. This is, I think this might be more of a challenge for Parkview than people expect. I think Magnolia is better than their 3-4 record would reflect. Um, I do think that Coach Kirby is setting a little bit of his foundation still this season. Of course, being a first-year head coach, it's hard not to struggle a little bit, to be honest. But I think that he's going to get his footing under him. They're going to have a successful program in the future. But for now, Parkview is the better team. They're going to get the victory this week. Pine Bluff versus Watson Chapel. Pine Bluff has struggled this season after losing Courtney Crutchfield and a couple other guys to graduation. But I do think they get the win over Watson Chapel this week and move to 2-6 on the season. Farmington versus Morrilton. This might be the game of the week in Class 5A. Two top 10 teams, number 6 versus number 8 in our poll. I am going to pick Morrilton to win because the game's at Morrilton, but it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if Farmington came out of there with a victory. It should be a close game and a very exciting and fun game for sure. Valonia versus Harrison. Valonia will win this game. It is on the road at Harrison. Harrison's a tough environment every year, no matter how good they are. And But Bologna's just got so much talent, and they've really benefited from Coach Ashcraft. I can't sing his praises enough. Really, he's a fantastic coach, and he's really revitalized that program. Um, I think they're going to move to 6-2 this week with a win over Harrison, but expect Harrison to bounce back in the next few years. They're never down for very long. Cersei versus Robinson. Cersei is going to have a tough time this week. I think Robinson's going to win. The game's at Robinson. That's definitely going to benefit them. And I think the Senators get the victory this week over the Cersei Lions. Harding Academy versus Nettleton. Harding Academy has bounced back relatively well. They're 4-3. Uh, I think that they are. Um, I think that they might be a sleeping giant. Um, I'm really not sure what's caused them to stumble so much in 5A. Um, a lot of people, and I would tend to agree with this sentiment, think that the jump from 4A to 5A is the hardest, um, and that is somewhat true. Um, I think that Harding Academy is one of the prime examples of that. And I do think that Nettleton gets the victory this week. They're just really athletic. Harding Academy is very fundamentally sound, and Owen Miller's one of the best quarterbacks in the state. Um, but I think Nettleton gets the victory this week at home. Hot Springs versus Arkansas High. Um, Hot Springs, I think, gets the victory this week over winless Arkansas High. Hot Springs getting things back on track after starting the season a little bit slow. Brooklyn versus Batesville. Brooklyn, a little bit of a surprise team this year. Started off the season hot, ended up losing to Valley View later in the year, and now they're 4-3. But Batesville is 1-6. I'm going to pick Brooklyn to get the victory, but I do think it's going to be a pretty close game. Alma versus Clarksville. Alma's a team that I think is better than what their 3-4 record reflects. They went right down to the wire with Bologna, who's 5-2. But I do think that Alma gets the victory over Clarksville this week at Clarksville. Hope versus Camden Fairview. Pretty easy pick here. Camden Fairview gets the victory at home over winless Hope. Wynn versus Paragould. I think the Wynn Yellow Jackets get the victory this week. They're my sleeper team in the offseason to maybe make a deep playoff run. I think Coach Toddy is, he's been doing it for a while now. He's one of the best in the business as far as Arkansas high school football goes, and I think that he's going to rally his team. They're going to get a victory over Paragould this week. Jacksonville versus BB. Um, this is a tough one. I think that Jacksonville is going to be okay in the future, um, but I'm going to pick BB to win this one. I like Coach Allen at Jacksonville. I think he's got the right ideas, and I think that he's going to build that program into something better than what it is right now for sure. Um, but I think BB gets the victory this week. Whitehall versus Maumelle. Same situation, somewhat as Jacksonville with Whitehall. I think Coach Patton's the guy there. I think he's going to build that program into something better than what it is right now. But Maumelle just has so much, natural talent on that team. I think they're going to get the victory this week at home. Greenbrier versus Pea Ridge. This is an Enoch Hassan game written all over it. Greenbrier 4-3 this season. Pea Ridge 1-6. I'm going to pick Greenbrier to win handedly, and Enoch Hassan might have 300 rushing yards or more. Greene County Tech versus Valley View. Valley View is going to win this game easily. Probably going to be a mercy rule by halftime. They're at home. They're undefeated, and Greene County Tech is winless on the season. DeQueen versus Hot Springs Lakeside. Hot Springs Lakeside will roll big time in this one and get the victory over DeQueen, no problem. Well, that's going to do it for our ASN ranking show for Class 5A. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, comment on the video, follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook. We are so close to hitting 100,000 followers on all our platforms. But until next time, until Class 6A, I'm Carson Ward of the ASN Ranking Show, signing off.